Hey everybody, how's it going? I am very excited to have the chance to show you the 3.0 level editor. This is basically a tool that will allow you to make your own maps for Unturned 3.0 and kind of make whatever you want, really. And so basically this is a 512 by 512 map right here. Very small, mostly just for small towns or something. If you just want to kind of have some fun, make a small map, play on with your friends. And to start off, we've got the terrain tools here. This will allow you to kind of sculpt the terrain to how you want it. You can set up a brush here, maybe set up some hills, big hill over there, kind of ridge line over here. And once we've got our terraforming done, we can head over to materials, and this will basically just allow you to automatically paint the textures onto the ground. And so this really speeds up the level process because you don't have to be like putting each individual texture on, making it look nice, blending it out. It just does that all for you. And you can configure how it does that with all these little properties on the right over here. So basically, say that there's a material you want to put on by yourself. You can head on down and you can click generated. This will allow you to paint it on, whoops, make sure you select it, I forgot to do that. But you can paint it specifically onto the terrain where you want it. So maybe we have a bit of a farm here, we wouldn't put down some wheat. And of course we can adjust the brush size to suit our purposes, maybe make it a bit bigger. There we go. If we click bake materials again, it'll smooth it out for us. And there is no loss because the threshold is pretty high. Once we've done that, we can go and to the details tab, and this is things like grass. As you can see right now it looks pretty awful, but we can just click bake details and all of a sudden everything looks pretty okay again. We've got rocks on the rocky area, we've got grass and flowers where they should be, and we can of course modify these. So we can make it so that maybe there's less rocks, there we go, and there's a few less. Or maybe we want to make it so that there are rocks on the grass as well. So to do that, we just make this rocky. And we can head back to details, click bake details. All of a sudden there's rocks everywhere. Once we're done that, we can head over to the resources tab and click bake resources to put trees everywhere. You'll also use this to put down boulders, things like that. It's basically just anything that can be dug up or mined. And of course you can configure these and all the different materials, but you can make your own stuff like that. So now we've got the basics of our map here. Looks pretty decent. Nice landscape. We can head on over to the environment tab. So over here you can configure the lighting. You can kind of see what it looks like at different times of the day. Obviously this lighting is pretty awful, so maybe we'll configure it a bit, change the azimuth, which is basically just the angle that the sun travels in. After that we'll bring down the fading a bit, and we can adjust, maybe we'll just do midday. So we can make the sky a bit more blue. Let's see, can we make this look good? It's pretty blue. Obviously, you probably want to make it look more realistic than that. Let's see, can we? That's a bit better. Okay. And then we can also configure other things like the ambient color, the sun color, stuff like that. Maybe we'll make the sun a bit oranger, and we will make the ambient color, which is basically just the shadow color. We will make that maybe a bit of a blue-purple color. Oh, that looks awful. Okay. Not really sure. I don't know. You can probably make something that looks way better than this, but we can also head down and we can configure some other things like the fog, the number of clouds. If we just, let's see, clouds midday, we can bring that down. Now there's hardly any clouds. Doesn't look as good. Something like that. There's more clouds. Looks nicer. Then we can head on over to roads tab. So maybe we want a road leading up to our farm. Maybe we'll have it branch off from the highway. So maybe there's a highway traveling from here. We just select the highway. You can also just make your own textures if you want, whatever you want them for. And we'll just put down some points. Let's see. Maybe a bit of a winding path. Make it look a bit more realistic. Click bake roads, and all of a sudden we've got a 4-lane highway here. Although it looks a bit thin, so maybe we'll make the width a bit larger, like 8 maybe. There we go. And so then the next thing to do is have a path that actually leads to our farm over here. So we will get the trail. We'll make it a bit shorter so that it blends nicer with the highway. And if we just click, maybe somewhere around here. Whoops, that was not intended. Okay, now we've got it deselected. Wait a second. This doesn't make 100% sense since there's just a trail coming off the side of a highway, but we'll go with it. Oops. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Lots of mistakes. Sorry about that, but hopefully everything ends up okay. There we go. And obviously this texture looks a bit stretched. So if we go down to the trail, we can make it a bit longer, like 8 maybe. There we go. It's got a nice kind of pattern to it. And if we head back over to the materials tab, we can get some nice dirt underneath them, rebake that, and now it looks like there's grass coming through it. So we'll head on over to the heights tab. We'll grab this. And also, actually, this is all just accidental. Like, I'm just doing whatever. There we go. Clear that out. Everything else is looking good. This is a bit distorted, but it'll have to do. We'll head back over to environment. Or terrain. Bake this. We'll head on over to resources, bake resources, and bake details. There we go. Now we've got a nice highway with a road branching off the side. And maybe the next thing to do is put down some objects. So we can go over to large, we can get a barn. And if we just press E, we can put it into the world exactly where our mouse is. You can see it's going in the background a bit, we'll raise it up. We can rotate it and hold down Control to snap it. And then go back to the transform tool. Now it's in the world. We can bring it over here. Maybe rotate it a bit more like that. There we go, got a nice barn. And then maybe they've got a fence. So we'll put like a fence over here after deselecting that. And rotate it so that the boards are on the inside. Put it out here a bit. Obviously, everything here is a bit out of scale. The road is pretty big. But we can put it on local rotation mode. And what that allows us to do is just move it along the same axes as the rest of the objects. So as you can see, we've got a nice little fence going. We can copy that section, put another bit over here, and now we've got kind of a road to drive down to this farm. From there, maybe we'll recalculate the materials again. This is probably the last time we'll do it. There we go. Actually, we'll do that again. There we go. That's some nicer tree placement. Now we've got a nice barn here, and maybe you could like put some gas tanks, stuff like that. We'll head on over to the spawns. Animals and vehicles aren't actually in yet, and I forgot to explain this. Navigation and nodes aren't in yet either. Basically, navigation will be the pathfinding stuff. Nodes will be reflection probes and sound sources. So maybe there'd like be a windy noise on top of a cliff. And so reflection, don't worry about that. 2.0 has that as well. Very minor performance impact. If you look at the grain silos, you'll actually notice that they reflect light. And that's just because they use a cube map, very teeny performance impact, and it makes it look way nicer. So also animals and vehicles aren't in yet, so you can't actually put spawns down. Animals is just zombies as well. If we head on over to players, maybe we'll put a player spawn point over here. We will just rotate a bit. Oh, whoops, that's radius. There we go. Put these down, maybe a few of them. Maybe we don't want that one, so we'll grab the remove tool. It's got a radius, we bring it down. There we go, no more spawn points. Then obviously we want these guys to find some stuff, so we'll head on over to the items tab, and we'll make a new table called farm. So this will be a loot table that spawns farm specific items. And if we select it, we can start putting down some spawn points for it. So we'll put some up here maybe, and each one of these will spawn an item randomly. Like there's a % chance that each one will spawn an item. Put some down there. So now if you walk into this barn, you walk in, you maybe see some items there, down there, come up here, you can grab some stuff and then leave. And then of course you can configure the color so that you can color code your spawn tables. Maybe we'll make this one kind of orange color. That makes it easier to edit. And then we can add some tiers such as rare, common. There we go. Maybe we'll make common 90%. The percents don't always add up to 100. It's because of the rounding, but don't worry, they do. If we head over to common, we can put in some basic items like maybe the shades, some jeans, and an orange hoodie. And if we click on rare, we can put in some like the AR-32, not that. Wait, what's the ID? 4. There we go. 6. There we go. Now we've got some items in the rare category. And so basically there's a 9% chance it'll spawn one of these, and a 90% chance it'll spawn one of these. Obviously, we would want it to spawn more farm-specific items, but there are not really any good for that yet. And obviously there is a lot of stuff missing. Like, there's not that many buildings yet, not that many objects, but the main focus has been on the programming side, not on the content creation yet. So if we just save the level, now if we leave and come back, all this will still be here, and you could load this up on your server right now. Actually, we'll also just fix this. Or maybe this could look kind of cool. You could put like some crashed cars here, kind of whatever you want. And also, if you had rocks, it would generate these here. But basically, this is the basics level editor. More features will probably get added, but you can probably expect 3.0 to come out sometime mid-September maybe. It's just really a matter of how busy school is. That's starting on the 4th for me, at least. I don't know about you guys. As well as kind of what content will be in, because the servers are working, but there is a lot of stuff that still needs to get put in, and so it'll most likely just be kind of like the basics, and things like vehicles will get added maybe a few weeks in, but basically the things like the level editor, the servers, anti-cheat, stuff like that, that's the stuff that takes a while. But things like cars and barricades, those don't take very long to put in, so we should be good on that front. And I hope this was informative. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and maybe there'll be another video in the future. Who knows? But thanks for watching.